What is up, Star Wars fans? Welcome to the Star Wars Stop. It is finally feeling like the month of General Grievous. Even though we're basically a couple days from the month being over, we have an official image of General Grievous fighting on Geonosis. So I'll put it up here right now. You can take a look. So not only do we have this image, which is insanely epic, it looks like they completely nailed the look of him. And if you'll notice there, you actually have battle droids that have the same skin that they would have on Attack of the Clones Geonosis, that red skin. We also have all the abilities, all the star cards, all the victory poses, and a lot of information of how General Grievous will play. So let's get into that. And at the outset, I will say that the only Geonosis tease information, rather, is just this image. This is the only piece of Geonosis information coming in this community transmission. This community transmission is primarily about General Grievous, so most of the information is about him. Pretty much all the information is about him. So yeah, getting into this. It looks like General Grievous will be able to use all 4 lightsabers. He'll make use of 2 lightsabers for his normal attacks, and some of his special abilities will bring all of the lightsabers into play. Now, the cool thing is that he will actually be able to block, as we have thought. So he can block lightsaber hits, he can block blaster bolts, which was a big question for a lot of people. Would he get the block ability? And it looks like, yes, he will be able to block. So that is awesome. That's just going to make him much more interesting to use in lightsaber fights, which is kind of what General Grievous was built for, to slay Jedi. So really glad they decided to give him the block ability, not just for blaster bolts, but mainly just so he can block lightsabers. Now, getting into the abilities, the good part. He will have an ability called Thrust Surge. Now, this makes General Grievous target one specific target in front of him, rush them, and he does a stab motion with all 4 of his lightsabers. So it's going to be kind of your hero, or from what I can tell, kind of like your hero or like your enforcer attacking ability. So kind of similar to how when you're playing as, God, what's a good example? I guess there isn't really a good example of an ability like this in the game. I mean, it's basically, imagine a force choke from like Vader that can only target one person. It's kind of the ability you use on one very tough opponent. Let's say like you're playing as Darth Maul. Typically you'll try and choke a Wookiee warrior first to kind of get them disabled so they can't do damage to you. That kind of seems like along the lines of what this Thrust Surge ability will be. Now, I can tell you already, this probably is not the best move to go for when you're fighting a group of enemies, because it seems like it's probably going to have a big, long animation and, be kind of targeted when you're in a 1v1 fight. His next ability is Claw Rush. Claw Rush makes General Grievous go down on all 6 limbs and rush forward, damaging and pushing away any enemies in his path. So we saw him do this in the movie. He used it to run away from Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's interesting that it looks like this is actually going to be an offensive ability, very similar to kind of a Han Solo shoulder charge. He's also going to get this ability called Unrelenting Advance. General Grievous spins 2 lightsabers over his head and can advance on his enemies. While this is active, Grievous blocks any frontal attacks and damages enemies in front of him. So we also saw Grievous use this in Revenge of the Sith when he was he was kind of walking towards Obi-Wan, spinning all of his lightsabers and kind of just intimidating Obi-Wan. But it seems, I'm hoping at least, is going to be a little bit faster. Potentially could be a lot like Darth Maul's spin attack. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of close distance and do some damage to a bigger people. What's interesting, this will actually be blocking blaster bolts, which, if you didn't know, when Darth Maul does a spin attack, he can actually deflect blaster bolts as well. So it seems like this is kind of along those lines. I wonder how slow and how fast it's going to be, though. Now, getting to the star cards. Now, as you all know, these star cards are going to kind of make him or break him. That's kind of how it goes with heroes as far as Battlefront 2 is concerned. If they have good health cards, they're kind of a good hero. And it looks like they've made that a possibility with General Grievous. So, his first star card, called Beating Heart, will increase his health regeneration. General Grievous has increased maximum health regeneration, so basically kind of like how Darth Maul can take a lot more damage than other heroes, and then he can lose a good amount of health and still recover it. He doesn't get back health he's already lost, but he can recover more of his base health as opposed to a hero like Chewbacca or Lando that will, take some damage and then lose that health permanently. Leia actually also has a star card similar to this. The next one is the very important one, Cyborg Rage, health regain. Now, whenever General Grievous defeats an enemy trooper, he gains 20 health. Whenever he defeats an enemy hero, he regains even more. So this is the most important star card. Looks like they did decide to go ahead and give him a health regeneration card that gives him a health on kill. And that's going to be the one you're probably going to want to rank up as fast as possible, obviously. His next star card is called Sith Trained, increase the damage and stamina drain. Essentially, it's going to make General Grievous deal extra damage with his lightsaber attacks, but they drain more stamina. So that could be a possibly good one. I doubt it's going to buff him his damage too much, so I don't know if I'll go for that one or not. His next one is Jedi Killer. Gives him increased reach. This is interesting. General Grievous can target enemies further away when using Thrust Surge. That might be a very effective card, depending on how much that reach increases. Next one, he's going to get his Momentum, increased damage. Thrust Surge deals more damage to targets farther than X meters. Not too sure what I mean by that, but we'll find out pretty soon. Next one, Cowardly Retreat, damage reduction. General Grievous has more damage reduction while Claw Rush is active. That could be potentially good to make him a very good tank, to keep rushing in addition to all the health regen star cards. Next one, Line Up Weaklings, increased damage. After one enemy has been hit, Claw Rush deals more damage. Huh. That could be interesting. Next one, Ceaseless Assault. Increased active time. Unrelenting Advance can stay active for a longer period. Now, I don't know if I'd be down for that one. I typically like to get out of those long animations as fast as possible, but could potentially be very good. Next one, Deadly Slashes. Increased damage. Unrelenting Advance deals more damage. Okay, so pretty standard here. I was kind of hoping there would be something maybe that gives him like an extra dash attack, or I'm not sure if we don't know if it's even going to be like a dash attack, but it would be nice if he had like I love those star cards on Yoda, Darth Maul, and Luke where they get an extra dash attack. Now here are all of his voice lines. We already have seen some of them, but some of them are new. You are a bold one. Your lightsabers will make a fine addition to my collection. You must realize you are doomed. I wield great power, Jedi fool. The story of Obi-Wan Kenobi ends here. Make peace with the Force now, for this is your final outing. Your screams are like music to my audio receptors. Probably the best one. The Kaleesh are not known for their mercy. This will be easier than Dathomir, obviously referencing in the Clone Wars when Grievous rampaged on the Night Sisters. A general welcomes all challenges. All challengers. That's an interesting one. Laughing, this calls for a celebration. That's a nice one. Now, devastation tactics. Do not cling to me like a diagonal Dianoga attack. That is actually a Dianoga, is the little squiddy monster that attacks Luke in the Death Star garbage pit. Temper, temper, you know where anger leads. I like that one. That's going to be a great one to taunt people with. Now his victory poses are going to be, I'm going to put them up here, but they don't really mean much. I mean, you can read them if you like. We don't know what they are just by reading these names. They're just names. We actually see what they are. His emotes are, you are a bold one, crush them, surrender, and your screams are music to my audio receptors. That one is going to be great to taunt people with. Now he's got a list of milestones. You can read these if you like. I'm not going to really go over them. You can pause the video if you want to really read them in depth. Now the exciting part, he's going to have 2 appearances. Jedi Hunter, his basic appearance, where General Grievous, I think he's probably not going to have his robe in this one. It's what we see in the picture here. And his next one is going to be battle damage, which is awesome. I really, really hope that they consider giving Darth Vader and some of these other heroes battle damage skins. It seems like it would be something pretty easy to do, and I have no doubt in my mind that everyone is going to want to buy this for Grievous. Anything battle damage, typically, people go crazy about. But that is it, guys. That's all the news from this community transmission. I will link it in the description if you'd like to see it for yourself. But I am super, super hyped, and I'm just... It sounds like they've really, on paper, they've done an excellent job with Grievous. Now let's see how it works in execution. There could definitely be bugs and glitches considering what we've had to deal with in the past, but if there are no bugs and glitches and everything plays as it reads, it sounds like they did an awesome job with him, and he looks phenomenal in this picture. But that is it for this video, guys. Be sure to rate, like, comment, subscribe, stay updated on tons and tons of Star Wars content. Have an awesome day.